Good day, lads, ladies, and others. Today is the time for us to finally acquire our first Shadow Ancient Dragon from the current Origin of Shadow event. So of course we've got the Glom Rising collection, and we've got a couple of other dragons that we need to collect in order to get Glom. I'm incredibly close to getting Hausk now, so he'll be coming in probably in the next couple of days. But in terms of the altar, I have finally collected the 1500 talismans that we need to unlock a full dragon, and since I already have Homala, I'm not going to be taking Homala, even though Homala's probably by far the best choice for newer players. But the question is, Reisk or Merka? And you can probably already tell, but I'm actually going to go with Merka because I prefer the design of Merka, and he's quite cool. But of course he is 1500 talismans. And I'm going to press it. Goodbye all my talismans that I've collected so far. There we go. And there is pretty old Merka. So Merka, the main thing is that I've always imagined him as some sort of pretty shark, water shark. I don't know, starry shark, I guess. But that is the first ancient for the Shadow Ancient event. The other dragon that we need, of course, is Reisk. So we will need to collect another 1500 talismans, which is going to be a bit of a struggle considering this is Burnout Dungeon Week. And then final one we need to get is Hausk. But of course, now that I've collected this bad boy, I am going to pop the egg into my hatchery. And like all ancients, it's going to take just under 4 days for me to hatch this bad boy. Very strange looking egg. I didn't actually know what his egg looked like. Weird, Merka. Very, very weird. But if you're going to ask where I got all of my talismans from, which to be fair isn't even that many, it's mainly just been dungeon grinding because there's no other way to do it. So current week being Burnout Dungeon Week full of energy dragons isn't an ideal grinding dungeon week, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So I'm still going to be logging in every 6 hours and grinding that out, but there is our first ancient. What was your first ancient of this event? Did you get a times 500 on Hausk? Maybe you did, but we'll be getting that bad boy soon as well. But on top of those two, we do have 2 other dragons. Brand new dragon for me to get hatching. And the first one I'm going to hatch is actually a big milestone dragon, because this is the wonderful, beautiful Pinata dragon. And of course, to get a hold of Pinata, I had to first get 200,000 dragon collector points, which takes a lot of dragons to get enough dragon collector points, but very pretty and colourful legendary light and wind dragon. I wouldn't ever recommend for you to use Pinata on a team because, you know, legendary. But there is that final dragon in that little collection, so I will get some gemmies back. 35. Congrats me. Feels pretty good. And then if we feed up all of these dragons to 25, we'll also get some more rewards. So I am indeed going to do that for 25 free gems. But here is our little baby Pinata called Sook. Sook, he has a very, very big tooth as well. But yes, 200,000 DCP is not an easy feat. It's also not the highest DCP dragon that exists, but you know, getting to 200,000, you'll probably need at least 600 to 700 dragons on average between there. And then you've got to give them lots of sigils, you've got to give them lots of food. So, yeah, this dragon in particular has taken a very, very long time to get. But Sook, I'm glad that you're here on my islands and we can take a look at your pretty little Pinata face. I do quite like the design of this dragon. Like, I can just imagine hanging him up in my bedroom and then just beating him to death, and all of the, I don't know, what would come out of a Pinata dragon? I guess food, as in dragon food, I guess. Does it ever actually tell us what's inside the Pinata? I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe he's full of sigils. Ooh! Ooh, gimme Sook. Anyway, that is Mr. Pinata. So, just before I go and hatch the other dragon that we've got today, I am going to feed up these 2 as well. They're almost level 25 anyway, but I'm going to feed them up because who doesn't want free gems? Like, a free 25 gems in the middle of an ancient event? Like, yes please. Yes, please. I'll take it. So there's another 25. And of course, if we leveled them up to level 50, we would also get more rewards. But that's going to cost far too much food. So no, I'm not going to level them up to level 50 for 50 gems. It's very tempting, but I'm not going to do it. Very tempting. But beloved by children everywhere, the Pinata dragon is often a special guest at birthdays. You could say it's a real party animal. This trainer will have to remember that joke for later. So yes, nothing that tells us about the secrets of the insides of Mr. Pinata. If only we had the answers. But anyway, that's the first new dragon that we're going to be hashing. The second new dragon that we've got here today is Mr. Ravager. And this was the dragon from the solo event. I'll be honest, if you notice my gems go down, I did spend gems. I wouldn't have had to spend any gems, but I got very sick. Self-caused sickness. Not intentionally, but I did, which meant that I had to gem some of the solo event. But I wanted him, I'd put in most of the effort. It's just, you know, bad timing. Why did you have to get sick or feel very sick when, just in the middle of a solo event? How could you, me? You know, I did the same during an ancient event. I missed Solden and that because I was sick then. I was in hospital. Damn it. Why do these things happen? Anyway, this tough customer is covered in hard and sharp bony plates. The spines on its back are actually made from the same material as its teeth. All in all, nobody wants to get in the Ravager dragon's way. Okay, I will remember that. But the baby is actually quite a large baby, because some of the babies in DML, I swear, they're like tiny. They're like very, very tiny. But Ravager's actually quite a big boy, and he's got quite a big head. You may know. But nothing special about getting this dragon in particular. Like, I don't believe he's part of any collections or special events or anything like that. He was just the solo event dragon. And I kind of liked the look of him. I didn't want to give him up, so I didn't. Normally I wouldn't recommend for you to gem any parts of solo events, especially during major events. But you know, since I get the freebie ones, as in I get free gems, I was like, you know what, I don't mind spending some of the freebie gems that I get gifted on this dragon, instead of just all on the shadow event. So, you know, I wouldn't have gotten you normally, Ravager Dare, but we got you this time. I mean, just look, he looks cool, he looks like a punk, right? He looks like a punk rock sort of dragon. I can appreciate it anyway. But I guess he will be sitting in here. Can he not go in any other habitat? I don't really want him clogging up my habitat over there. Fine, he'll go in this habitat with raincoats. Look at them all. Oh, it's so overpopulated. That would be horrific to live in one of those habitats, don't you think? Anyway, he can sit in there for the rest of his life, and I'll probably never look at him ever again. But we are slowly closing in on that 700 dragon number. We will also be getting familiar, assuming that I get the star dragon hatched and finished quickly enough, which he's going to be sitting in there, so 2 of my hatchery slots are going to be taken over by really, really long timers. But I will take it, because I missed out on familiar last time he was available due to them, as in Gameloft, getting the event timers wrong. Or I think there was bugs at the beginning of his original event, so the timers just did not align with my life at all, which meant I could not do the resets. So I'm happy that Familiar is back, so that's going to be another 2 other new dragons. Then that new ancient dragon, that's going to be 3 new dragons. So yeah, we're going to be at 690 in like a couple of days. That's really not too bad. Then we're going to have Hausk, we're going to have the others. You know, it's really tempting right now, even though I've not got a lot of shadow stones, it's super duper tempting to just spend all of it immediately. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do 2 more rolls because I at least want to scratch part of the itch. But yes, I've been quite lucky with my times 50 drops with Hausk this time. Normally I get really, really shoddy luck when it comes to these ancient events, so the game's decided to give me some good luck in an event where I don't really care whether I get it or not. Because the Shadow Ancients are the worst Ancients that we've had so far in terms of how useful they are on a team. But I guess I'll take it. I'm not going to complain about having decent luck. But it does mean that, say you're in the same position as me and you're about to get Hausk, or maybe you just got it, it does mean that I'll be able to finally get Molim, hopefully. So even though I'll be finished with Hausk, we've still got more grinding to do because of Mr. Molim. Never ending. Never ending. Another 12 days of this Dragon Ball event, but hopefully we can get them. We've still got Warg to get as well, if I ever get him. And then Umbra, I'm quite far into the Umbra event. I hope I don't have to spend any gems on that. We'll see. But overall, I would say that this event is going quite successfully so far. I'm not really worried about whether I do or don't get any of the dragons. They're just free DCP at this point. But hey-ho. Hey-ho, that is my current progress. Just letting you know where I'm up to so that you can sort of gauge where you're at, especially if you're a newer player. But don't forget, keep grinding in that dungeon, doing every reset every 6 hours, getting as many stepping stones as you can. And don't forget that there is a premium sigil chest in the dungeon shop this week, so make sure you buy that if you have enough of the dungeon thingies, what they called. Oh my god, I'm forgetting. Tokens. Dungeon tokens. And if you are going to be gemming dungeon and things like that, you should probably take part in the gem spending event as well. But again, with this being a really heavy energy burnout dungeon, it's probably not advised to spend that many gems. You might want to gem anyway, especially if you're going to be busy in the final week. But ideally, you'd probably be gemming in the final week. Depends on what the final dungeon rotation is, because this week, again, lots of energy, lots of really annoying ones, so maybe avoid it this week if you can. But if not, oh well. But I will be putting out this final warning for any players. Say you're about to collect all of your 1500 talismans that you need for a dragon, or say you get it next week, please be aware that Reisk and Merka are not very good dragons for a team, because Void and Shadow or Wind and Shadow, they're just not very useful elements in the dungeon. If you want a dragon that is really good for map and dungeon, Homala is going to be the best bet. That's assuming that you need a water or a light dragon, which most new players do. Say you've only got epic so far, Homala would be a fantastic addition to your team. I know that for a lot of players that's going to mean that if you buy Homala you're not going to get Glom, but honestly for a lot of players I'll probably find more use out of Homala than Glom. I'm just throwing that out there for any newer players that are still trying to make a decision on who to buy, but if you know for a fact you're only going to get one dragon and you cannot get 2 dragons, that means Glom's out of reach anyway, so Homala is usually going to be the better option. But again, some of us already have Homala, so we don't need to worry about getting that one. But anyway, for now, I appreciate you joining me. I do wish you the very best of luck with all of your drops, all of your Dragon Board, and anything else that you're going for in this event. I'm pretty happy and content, and I have not spent anything on this game in about 4 months, so, you know, all things considered, I'm quite happy not having to spend anything and getting free Ancients. But anyway, for now, I appreciate you being here, and until next time, I hope to see you then.